Ladies and gentlemen, Garrett French here with Citation Labs. Very excited to be leading us on, I think it's our 6th webinar now. So, wow, 6 months. Thanks everybody for joining us today. This is a topic I'm very excited to discuss with you. It's going from taking your SEO keywords and using them to discover linkable topics, right? So using your targeted SEO keywords, using that as a starting point to find topics that could also that you should be using as keywords in a lot of different areas of prospecting. So this webinar is definitely designed for our tool users, or well, really any SEO, but you'll see as you go along. Many SEOs have a similar sort of rigidity about what is relevant, what is a relevant topic to this website, and that's what we're really hope we can help with on this webinar today. So here, let's dive in. So here are our goals. Number one, we want to help you guys get fuzzy, right? Not warm and fuzzy, but logically fuzzy. So we're going to move from rigid interpretations of relevance into fuzzy interpretations. And listen, this is where the links live. You have to get fuzzy in order to intersect your website with the topics that are actually linkable. So that's our number one goal. Number two is to teach linkable topic discovery, right? So that there's actually multiple parts here. So it's not just it's not just linkable topic discovery, but first you have to find topics. You have to discover the topics, and then you have to qualify them to see if they're linkable or not, right? So we're splitting this apart a little bit. And one other core thing here, people, you can read number C. Topics do not equal titles, right? So a linkable article title or linkable content title is not a topic. Topics are broader. They're sort of the category that the article sits within. We're going to have, and listen, titles are so important. We're going to have a dedicated webinar just for titles. So, and we'll talk about it a little bit today. You know, but folks, listen, if you can't do the titles without knowing your topics, and that it's really fundamental to developing out a linkable content strategy, linkable content ideas for that will actually earn links, right? Okay, now another thing, I want to very plainly define linkers. Okay. This is something that I think a lot of link builders and people who train about link building, or at least in the articles that I see often, is we're not defining who we're talking about when we talk about linkers. In this case, for the purposes of this webinar, we're talking about the linker audience, the linking audience. These are the people who are potentially linking to your website. These are links and resource page curators. These are people who are passionate about a topic area and are very, very keen to learn new ways of serving that topic or of helping people with that topic. So these are our targets. We're not talking about bloggers here. We're not talking about blogger outreach. Certainly, if you discover topics, there are likely to be bloggers who focus on that topic as well, who are I wouldn't say curators necessarily in the same way that links and resource page curators are curators, but are sort of caretakers of that topic, so to speak, are passionate about that topic. But we're not necessarily targeting bloggers. We're not targeting journalists, though. You know, you could potentially use a big piece and try to tie in try to make it in some way press-worthy or newsworthy. And we're not talking about targeting social media either. But again, you could, but that's not what we're talking about doing. The primary audience for this content that we're talking about today is that linking audience, okay? And it's designed to get that linking audience to take action. And the action is to link to it, okay? To share it. So, first and foremost, folks, we've hammered this before, and we'll continue to hammer this until we don't get this question or see this problem occur with when people start to use our tools, right? So 9 times out of 10, not 9 times. Okay, so I don't want to just blame our users, but there is a disconnect oftentimes with from a tool user who's looking for links pages between their SEO keywords and topical keywords that are actually going to return links pages. So folks, your SEO keywords are not necessarily linkable content topics. Now, I cannot make that a blanket statement. I wish I could, but one of our respondents today, folks, we asked you to provide us with some keywords to kind of run through, and one of them was a very linkable content topic, and I'll touch on that further on. But the rest were not. There were maybe 2 out of, I think we had 35 respondents, 2 out of 35 who were that were the keywords that I looked at that were their target SEO keywords were pretty darn close to being a topic area, right? So, but the majority of the time, folks, you're going to not be in a linkable content topic area when you start with your keywords. I don't know if I have a slide on this. I don't. So quickly, one other note about, we touch on this further on, but one other note about linkable content topics is they may not be very market-facing, meaning these may not be topics that appeal directly to the audience that you think of as your market, as your buyers, as your potential buyers. You want to make it as you want to make your topics serve them and appeal to them as much as possible, absolutely. But there may be some disconnect. There may be a bit of brand dissonance potentially. Certainly, it's our job when we get to the article title creation stage to serve that audience as much as possible, to serve that particular market. But this webinar focuses on topics for which there are lots of linkers and links pages, and therefore this webinar thinks of we're going to be working on topic ideation that will serve that audience, that specific audience. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be popping back and forth between this. Well, perhaps not yet. Between this the slides and a spreadsheet, because we do have a spreadsheet to sort of capture the process. I'll run through the process first, and then we'll look at the spreadsheet we developed. So. Oh, and last, folks, I'm sorry to interrupt one more time. We will be running through your keywords at the end of the webinar. I want to get the process first, and then we'll go keyword by keyword for as many as we can with the time we have to help kind of tease out linkable topics from SEO keywords, just so you can see how it's done kind of over and over again. And again, ideally, this is a webinar that you can show to somebody on your team, whether you're going to do it or somebody on your team's going to do it, and so they'll be able to go from SEO keywords into these linkable topics without you necessarily having to do it. This is how we like to think, and how we design things, is so they can be processes that you don't necessarily have to do. But anyhow, okay, so number one, you start with your 5 to 10 highest level SEO keywords, okay? Now, this is a simple thing. This is a simple way to get fuzzy. There are other ways, and I've talked with other SEOs about ways to get fuzzy. I was speaking with Don Rhodes recently. He actually was using the word fuzzy. He's working on a piece around topic ideation as well, and had used that word fuzzy, and I just loved it and grabbed it. But so this isn't the only way to get yourself out of the rigid SEO keyword box, but it is one way. So be on the lookout for other ways. But again, remember, the core here is discovering topics that are important, topics for whom there are lots of linkers. Okay, so you take your keyword, one of your SEO keywords, and you do a site:/.gov search. Now, the site:/.gov site colon is an advanced operator. .gov tells Google to only return pages that are of the top level domain or that have .gov as their TLD, right, or their top level domain. So why this is lovely is that theoretically there are no commercial intent pages on a .gov website. Okay, that's not to say that government websites aren't selling something, but it's just to say that it really helps us kind of shift the lens of relevance. Okay, because there are going to be fewer commercial results or no, theoretically no commercial results here. We're able to shift out of just thinking about our topics as our SEO keywords. It sort of forces us sideways. Same with keywords and then site:/.edu. Now, the third place we recommend going is to DMOZ to kind of, again, tease out categorizations of keywords, because that's often something that SEOs need to think about, is not necessarily, again, not content just about my SEO keywords, but content that's about topics that are where my keywords are categorized within. So move up a folder or two in the directory, or move up a category or two in the directory from your keywords. So it's I don't have a library science degree. We're talking here a lot about informational categorizations, though. We really are. And we always struggle with how to discuss it, but the DMOZ really helps you kind of discover some other potential topics that are relevant and related. Okay, so number one, pick your 5 to 10 highest level keywords, SEO keywords, and then you're running these Google site searches, right? Again, we want to see what we're working to do. When I say you need to get fuzzy, one of the things I mean is we want to see topics as an area of interest, not as a keyword landing page for your target customers. Okay, the content you're creating may not appeal to your target customers directly. Maybe at the top of the funnel, there's going to be some intersections, possible, and ideal definitely, and I recommend doing that. But it's not always. It just doesn't always happen. So step 2 is finding these related topics. So you take the topics you want to rank for again, and then you plug them in with site:/.gov, and to be very clear, what you're doing is you're looking just at the search engine results pages, just at the SERPs, okay? And you're looking for words. This will probably be the hardest thing to train, but you're looking at words that sort of pop off the page, right? So we have auto repair, a local mechanic. We actually, my uncle, I do free work for my uncle, and I don't need any more relatives. I don't do any more free work for people, but I do work for my uncle for free, and he does car repair. And so we sort of walked through this, for him, and we're really trying to, first of all, we had to strip off the geo-specific keywords or parts of the keyword just to get to auto repair. So he was obviously, city auto repair was what he wanted to rank for. But we just took the city off completely, and we just looked at just auto repair. And now let's take a quick look at what we see coming up just on this slide. So this isn't even live SERP. This is just a slide of a live SERP. And so what I'm seeing at the very top here, finding a reputable repair shop and learn your rights under the law. Okay? So what we know is that auto repair and law, right? There's laws about that are specifically for protecting consumers against shady auto repair providers, right? So what is our topic here? Well, I guess justice, perhaps consumer protection, right? So look at the second one, auto repair basics, consumer information from the FTC, So again, we have consumer protection, which is sort of a two-parted topic, right? So there's the law side of it, because there's the legal side of it, and then there's the kind of the consumer protection, which is the legal also, but I would still split those two things out to kind of just do queries around them. So for those who are jumping ahead, like I like to do, you would think about to come up with titles, consumer protection for auto, people who are trying to get their cars repaired. Which there's going to be a ton of content around that, but that would be a potential kind of first content title to leap to. But don't leap there yet. So we also have under the third one here again. I see consumer protection, right? Look, folks, I'm just looking in the SERPs. I'm not clicking through to any pages. I'm literally looking at each SERP item in the top 5 or 10 and looking for themes or topics, right? And as I said earlier, the .gov operator, the site::gov operator, sort of squeezes our topic through a government lens, right? Through a filter that takes away a lot of the commercial aspects of someone vying for $1, right? So obviously, well, I don't want to get into a political discussion, but something like the Department of Justice, when we see Department of Justice there at the top, we know that's a cue right away to us that we are in an area that auto repair intersects with law. Okay, that's one of the kind of the key takeaway that me as a topic discovery, if I'm doing a task, my task is topic discovery. That's a huge key for me. Now follow with me down to the fourth result here. Who do we see? We see EPA.gov. Okay, pollution prevention. Again, another huge topic that intersects with auto repair. Okay, so where SEOs often start would be, all right, I'm going to write a lot of content about auto repair, about how to fix your car, which is good. I mean, you do need that type of content, and that might be good, even top of funnel content, if you want to get people into your buying funnel. But if you want to get links, you're going to have to move a bit out from that home base, that comfortable place of topicality, and discover some new ones. So pollution prevention there at the fourth one. The fifth one is interesting. Auto Repair Reference Center. I don't quite know how to. It looks like a database. So that gets interesting as far as a sort of a product, right? Like a repair database. I don't see that as being quite a sort of manageable topic area, but it is interesting as far as what types of content is out there on government websites that's related to auto repair. So again, get fuzzy. We're not just finding good content topics, we're potentially looking for mission inspiration for the business. So back here, what could be inspiring here? Well, consumer protection. A consumer protection section of a website where and certainly you could try to go regional with it. So we're in North Carolina. My uncle's shop is here in North Carolina. So we could look at a consumer protection guide for people in North Carolina, right? Now, again, that's more of a title than it is a topic, but and I really want us to focus on parsing out topics as opposed to just jumping into titles. But I would just I always run ahead from topic into title. But anyhow, the mission could be really working to protect consumers. And you can build brand around these missions. There's the potential for that. There's the potential for large guides, or even doing Q&A. And walk with me here, folks. But this mission could also lead into PR directions, right? So my uncle decided he wanted to try and do some PR around consumer protection, well, he could try and find stories that are where people have been ripped off at auto mechanics and work with those people to help them get their money back, or really it can, if that's mission can come from these topics, is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to necessarily be just a one-off content topic or one-off title. It can be, when you find a topic, you can grow it into a lot of different directions. So get fuzzy. Now, step 3 is qualification. This is vital, okay? Absolutely vital to topic discovery, or to topic validation, right? So it's not enough to simply check out the SERPs and find a few topical keywords. You've got to check them out, and we've got some parameters around doing that. I'm going to escape out of this for just a moment because I think it's time to show you guys our spreadsheet, okay? So this is a spreadsheet we have for our linkable content brainstorm, right? So I mentioned our SEO keywords. We had removed the local the local operators that are the geo specific keywords that are in there, and then these were the queries we actually ran in Google: auto repair, auto mechanic, car repair, with all.gov and .edu. And then in column D, we identified our subject matter keywords, right? Then column E is the actual queries that we run to test those subject matter keywords, or those topical keywords, right? So are you guys with me? These are our SEO keywords. We prep each one of those SEO keywords for a query in Google, right? Just copy and paste this and bring it over to Google. And you can even, to get fuzzier, you can actually take quotes off. We do recommend being exact in a lot of cases. You could also start with again non-exact, because because here's OSHA, right? So this was a non-exact without quotes. So here's OSHA showing up, which starts to get interesting because there's a lot of occupational hazards with being a mechanic, and that could be its own potential way forward for content. Then we have from the SERPs, right? You have to capture potential topic areas, and so within this spreadsheet, and again, this is a downloadable spreadsheet. We'll share this with everyone after the webinar. So then you capture your subject matter keywords, and we just have a spot on the spreadsheet for one keyword per query. So there's probably going to be more. So this part you'll see spreading down beyond. You might find multiple subject matter directions from a single query. That's fine. Just let it go down below that. Let it. You want as many as you can find, but anyhow. So then you take each one and put quotes around it, and then check it. This is what I was getting to when we talk about qualification on the slides. You take each of your subject matter keywords, folks, put it in quotes, and then add in URL links.html, right? So what this does is it helps us qualify whether or not this subject matter this topical phrase is linkable. All right. So we have 1,320 results for this query. There's a lot of thinking that we've done around why we use this methodology for qualification. All right, in URL links.html. So I'll just speak briefly about it. But what we're telling Google with this advanced operator is I only want to see results where the URL itself contains links.html in the URL. Now we're relatively sure that these are links pages, And we're also, because we've added that such a narrow operator, or such a narrow, the file type is .html. Since that file type is so specific, since we're being so URL specific, we're able to get a gauge on the depth of opportunity, right? The depth of links pages that are out there for this specific topic, okay? So pollution prevention in URL links.html, 1,320 results. So that is a solid little, that's a solid number, right? So let's refer back to our content brainstorming. If there are 1,000 plus, it's a boss topic, right? Meaning we could probably split that down even further. Pollution prevention, we could probably split down even further. But to leap ahead with me here, to create content titles, pollution prevention guide for the DIY mechanic, pollution prevention guide for the three-man garage. If you know your markets around auto mechanic shops and that sort of thing. But again, we're thinking of each one of these pages. We're thinking of what would these folks want to link to, right? Stormwater pollution prevention. It looks pretty solid. So there might be, you could do stormwater prevention, pollution prevention guide for auto mechanics, and then add stormwater. Now again, there's only 20 results here, but when you take a term like this, and if you see only 20 results for in-URL links.html, it means that there's going to be a great deal out there for links.htm, links.asp. Not that many, but you're walking with me here. Just in-URL links, in title links, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of these different operators, and with the link prospector, it knows we've programmed in all of these operators for discovering links pages. So if you find that there's 20 or 1,000 results out there, then you can know that if you run multiple similar queries, you're going to find a ton of more opportunities. So look at, just with stormwater prevention, pollution prevention, in URL links, if you had the stormwater prevention, pollution prevention guide for auto mechanics, that could be something that would be linkable across a lot of these websites, and they look like great sites. These are city websites, government websites, some EDUs in there. So it's this. When we talk about topic ideation, this is it right here. This is how you do it. This is how you kind of try to drill down into what kinds of topics will be out there. Let's go back to our spreadsheet and look at a few more of these. We had pollution prevention. This one we had auto repair information for consumers. So this is so narrow with quotes around it and in URL links.html. My gut is there's going to be nothing. Yeah, see, we have no results found. So I would back this one out into consumer protection. Now we're up at 3,300 results. Oops, oh yeah, for links.html. So we could even go, I wonder if we had auto repair consumer protection. Yeah, that's too narrow. So I still like to keep things in quotes, but I wonder, so this is, sorry guys, this isn't on the, we didn't, refining your topics is we in our article we write about a little bit about refining topics. We didn't build it into the webinar, but there is a lot of refining that needs to happen as well, that can happen as well when you start with a topic that you think is going to be good, and sort of back into what are the actual phrases that are going to help you find links pages, which are typically the top. When I talk about a topic, is basically what I'm talking about, is what phrase are we going to use when we're prospecting for links pages that are relevant to what we're writing about. So I see consumer complaints. I wonder about that. Um, I mean, Consumer Protection Agency would probably be a good one. I'm looking for something that's more relevant to just cars, of course. I think there's a lemon law is something here in the States. I'm not seeing that show up, but anyhow, I like consumer protection law, but there's still more kind of refining that you can do after you've discovered some topics that you think are going to be a good direction. And what I would want to do with consumer protection, I don't feel like it's refined enough yet as a topic. I think more drilling needs to happen to figure out what consumer protection phrases more specifically relate to automobiles. So I think there's going to be something more relevant to automobiles that is also consumer protection, but we haven't discovered that yet. But that's what I would hunt down, where I really developing that out. Another one that was really interesting that came up, auto mechanic allergens. So again, you take auto mechanic allergens, and actually you could just run that through with sitecolon.gov. Just instead of necessarily the links, you could do sitecolon.gov here and sort of see what. Oops, citation left. I meant sitecolon.gov. There we go. We were number one there accidentally because we've written about this. So look at this title here: hand dermatitis in auto mechanics and machinists. So hand dermatitis, ladies and gentlemen, I would humbly submit is a topic that's related to auto repair. All right. So now we can say, all right, hand dermatitis. Let's check that out as a potential topical link direction. Links.html. Only 4, so this may not be the most productive way forward as far as prospecting. Now let's just do dermatitis, and we back out into 2,300 results. So I also want to humbly submit that you don't necessarily stop when you hit a brick wall of no results. You back out, you make your phrases shorter and sort of tease those back into your process funnel, right? So even the phrase dermatitis then could get kicked back over into kind of an SEO keyword essentially. You could bump that here, dermatitis, spell that right, and then that would could sort of start you again let's do sitecolon.gov. Atopic dermatitis. We see a lot of different types of dermatitis. We're starting to learn a lot more about dermatitis than we ever thought we would. But why this is important is when you are kind of using this fuzzy approach to topic ideation, you have to learn a lot about a new topic and then how it relates to your core topic, right? And part of that is just doing this research and kind of building out a body of knowledge and a little bit of understanding about dermatitis and how it can impact auto mechanics. And so, allergens could be another one, common allergies for auto mechanics. So allergies, and then in URL links.html. Now this is cheating. I know there's going to be tons and tons of allergy related. 20,800 results. So we'd have to be more specific, probably skin allergies. But now let's just check this one. I'm still working to justify, for example, a guide on or a topical direction on auto mechanics and skin and hand allergies, right? So, and skin allergies. So we see 116 results here. I would run with this. Oh, I see animals though. That's interesting. That may not be. We have to remove and pets. So dog allergies. So skin allergies seems to be a lot more related to a phrase that's used more for pets than it is for people. So with that in mind, we probably have to make sure again that we're using research phrases that would or topic phrases that would bring back human-related things. But I know my uncle actually has a shop dog, so it just occurred to me that could be how to keep your shop dog healthy in the shop, right? In the workspace, in the mechanic's workspace. That could be a good topic too. So okay, so we've gone through, we've studied qualification a bit now. Um, we may have to cruise quickly through a bit more. Again, pick a topic with a good number of results, but also one that you're excited to write about. Okay, quickly review, and then we're going to jump into your keywords that you sent in to us. SEO keywords are typically not linkable topics. 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty comfortable saying they are not linkable topics. Get fuzzy. You're going to look for SEO keywords with site:gov and site:edu. See what comes back. Linkable topics do not often or always serve your target market. This is a tough shift for content marketers and SEOs in general, but it's vital for creating content that actually lines up with linkers, with the bodies of linkers that are out there. And lastly, these topics are not necessarily titles. I worked through the titles. I extrapolated titles a few times as we were going through this, but a topic is not a title. And so we are going to have a dedicated webinar just for title creation. We've got some formulas that we're developing around that, so we'll be sharing those shortly. But I just wanted to put those out there. So now, again, if you have questions, Megan at citationlabs.com. She can also take instant messages within the webinar itself right now. But let's escape out of this and let's head over to our keywords, right? So we have, I think we had about 33, 35 people submit. So we're going to start at the top here. We've got Mr. Prabodhan, and forgive me if I mispronounce. So we've got hair fall solutions, hair care tips. I think we're talking about hair falling out solutions or losing hair. So I'm going to start with that. So I've already extrapolated from an SEO keyword. So no, well, I'll take that exact SEO keyword just to see what happens. Site:gov, and let me see what our exact keyword was. Hair fall solution. We'll see what comes back. Hair regrowth treatment for men and women. Daily Med. So this is probably some kind of, well, let's see. Well, let's just stay on the SERPs for a moment. Topical hair regrowth products. Again, the FDA. So, and look at that URL, safety, right? So safety is, I mean, that's a huge one in itself as far as a topic goes. So safety is one. I see insurance, right? So I don't know that hair fall solution is what triggered the insurance result, but a guide for using your health insurance for regrowing hair. Or health insurance is definitely a topic. It's definitely a linkable area. It's tricky because it is so commercial, but when you're intersecting it with a topic that is linkable, like hair loss, you do get into some potential linkable concepts. I see a hair stylist, the Ohio State Board of Cosmetology, which is the professional side of hair-related, I guess, hair services, if you will. So if we have a hair loss website, perhaps there is there's an avenue or a topical avenue of content that serves people who are either on the board of cosmetology or who have gotten their cosmetology licenses. So here in the States, we have to, folks, to become barbers and hairstylists, commonly people have to get a cosmetology license and have to be officially certified. And so perhaps content for that type of person around, or for that career type around hair loss services could be interesting. This is interesting. Evaluation of hair loss in adult women. So this is there's multiple topics here. So obviously we have hair loss in women, which is borderline taboo discussion. And we have the evaluation. Evaluation isn't a topic, but it indicates, I see up above it, the School of Nursing. So I'm not saying the nurse's guide to evaluating hair loss, but maybe we look at, maybe it is a guide around, or topically, what other conditions does hair loss indicate, right? So why is this hair coming out? What are the common conditions that can lead to hair falling out? So sort of an assessment guide for people with who are losing their hair, or even women who are losing their hair. Autoimmune diseases. So patchy hair loss on the scalp, face, and other areas of your body. So this is a situation where immune system attacks hair follicles. So this is interesting. This is where the autoimmune system intersects with hair loss. And so so let's start checking a few of these, but autoimmune, like just that phrase, that topic, autoimmune, with links.url, let's see, in URL, links.html. Look at that. Almost 3,000 results there. So you're looking at how does hair loss intersect with autoimmune deficiencies and autoimmune diseases, and you could even further narrow it by intersecting with women, and you're going to have well, autoimmune is a topic area, but your title you can combine topics, and I actually recommend combining topics. We'll get into that, but that could be a solid way forward for the hair loss angle. And I definitely think hair loss in women is a big one. So health insurance as an intersection, as a topic. Now, if you were going to do prospecting for health insurance as it relates to hair loss, I would probably approach it. I would probably do a guide for someone with autoimmune disease who's on insurance and is losing their hair. Like, how can they get their hair regrowth covered by insurance, right? Because it's normally maybe seen as a cosmetic thing, and they may have some trouble getting it covered. But so now, it wasn't my intention to leap to titles, but that's when we start to really dial this in. We might have a piece on health insurance that relates to women and hair loss and autoimmune diseases. So these are 4 topic areas, right? But when we combine them, we have an incredible title that we can go to with autoimmune autoimmune links pages to, let's say, women's health links pages. Yes, we did mean that. 8,320 results. I don't think health insurance. No, I don't want health. There's going to be too much garbage. Let's just see. Well, there's an EDU in there. So okay. I would have said not health insurance, but I can see that being linkable. But now, all you health insurance folks out there, look, you can't just write something about health insurance and get links from these, anybody who has health insurance on the page and has links.html in there, you're going to need to intersect your topic with other areas of, with other topics, other linkable topics. So, just now we talked about women's health. We talked about health insurance. We talked about autoimmune disease and hair loss. So again, hair loss will probably be another big one, is my guess. Let's see, hair loss. Yeah, it's a big one. So we have clinics, hair loss clinics, pharmacy websites. So hair loss starts to get a bit, I guess, spammy as far as the links pages that are out there. But anyhow, that when you're combining these topics of linkability, that's when you get titles that are ultra linkable, right? I didn't mean to discuss that formula yet. I'm just excited about it. So we'll go into it in more detail in our next webinar. But okay, so I feel like we've walked through this quite a bit. There's more, shampoo for dandruff, hair care. So you could run through all those again, but that was just one keyword, folks. I have no. This is going to be a long webinar. That was just one of them, and we got a lot. We got a lot of ideas, right? So we're going to move on to our next one. I'm an American. I don't know what wellies are. I don't know what U-boots are. I know what boots and shoes are, though. We do actually wear those. So we'll look at. We'll take. I want to back it out into shoes. Okay. So with sitecolon.gov. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do we start to see showing up here? We're grateful to Kevin for providing us with these keywords, and Kevin, forgive me for not using any of them even off the top, and just diving right into shoes. But here we start to see therapeutic shoes or inserts at Medicare.gov. So this is coverage. Can therapeutic shoes or inserts be covered by Medicare in the US, here in the States? Now, I don't know if that's going to fit your target audience, but interestingly, we have insurance intersect again here. We have therapeutic inserts. So there are conditions that people are coming to their shoes with, right? And they're looking for solutions, therapeutic solutions that are inserts or specific shoes. So we would have to this is a big topic to sort of split open here. But what kinds of conditions are there that therapeutic shoes can help with, and how can we create content that we could then try and build links to, of course. So number 2, passengers who cannot remove their shoes for TSA, right? Again, common condition in the States is where you have to take your shoes off when you're going through a scanning procedure at the airport. Now, there's a lot of potential content around this. Again, what I like about this is it's very specific. So who are people who cannot remove their shoes? Why could you not take your shoes off? Why are you forced to keep your shoes on? I don't know what scenarios or what kinds of situations occur where you're medically or physically or whatever unable to remove your shoes, but they do occur. And when medical intersects with something, that's as a topic discovery, as a person who's hunting for linkable topics, that's a green light. That's a dig deeper here. Oh, this is interesting. Parallel use of different running shoes decrease. We don't know what. I do want to find out, but running-related injury risk. So running-related injuries. This is crazy. I'm really. I know. Look, I know that that Kevin does not sell, his running shoes aren't even on here. But folks, this is where we're starting to look at and discover these kind of topics of linkability that relate to shoes, right? So we've got running injuries. We've got, should you have 2 pair of running shoes or multiple running shoes to help prevent multiple pairs of running shoes to help prevent injury. He's not. I mean, well, I wonder what if flip-flops is out there. Well, we won't do that quite yet. Energetics of running and running shoes. That's interesting. What does that even mean? Energy storage and recovery in the cushioning system of a shoe. Wow, that's cool. Oh, running orthotics and injuries. If you have a previous injury and you want to start running again. So, ladies and gentlemen, we went from shoes and then we found running, but then also as a topic, running is, I would humbly submit, is a big linkable topic. But then we also see injury. We see the word orthotics occur here. So these are all the big kinds of topics that shoes fit within, right? That they're relevant to. Shoes are genuinely relevant here. Now, are they relevant to people who are shopping for flip-flops? Probably not. But let's just do that. Let's just search for flip-flops. Let's see what we get. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. So we do have some medical stuff out there. Analysis of the human gait while wearing flip-flops versus sneakers. So I guess we're trying to understand what actually happens when people wear flip-flops. We see flip-flops on children's walking. And my gut is that there are some issues. We have flip-flop recalls. So the consumer protection group there. The TSA again shows up. Let's see, just poking around here. So I see the safety of flip-flops, right? Now, if you sell flip-flops, you may not want to talk too much about flip-flop safety if they're dangerous, but maybe you do have a guide to wearing them safely, right? How long should you wear them? How often should you change your flip-flops? What are the dangers of flip-flops, and how can you wear them safely? Because everybody loves flip-flops. You just slip them on, you head down to the beach. They're great. But draw from this content here, and then look for other topical intersections. But when we think about, well, for example, pool safety is a big, well, safety is big, but pool safety, drowning prevention, summer safety, it's upon us now in the U.S. So we're thinking a lot about it when we think about content topics. So it had never occurred to me to have a section on safe footwear at the beach or safe footwear at the pool. So how can there's probably, it probably hasn't been written about too much, and there's, I know that there's a pool safety, beach safety, and those sorts of things are highly linkable, and I thought of those, I jumped across to those from what I was seeing here and thinking about flip-flop safety in general. But it's very interesting, the idea of the human gait, the human, how humans actually walk, and how flip-flops impact that. It's something for the person who's selling flip-flops. That's a great thing to understand, right? It's a great thing to understand. If you actually decide, for example, to discontinue selling flip-flops to children. I see something on here. It looks like might be from a government website. Let's see. So if we have a government site, yeah. Oh, where is this? Let me visit the page where this is from. Okay, I have no idea how to extract intent from this page. But this is a government page that had a no flip-flop, probably because it's worker safety. Okay, never mind. I thought perhaps there was a government campaign against kids wearing flip-flops. And if there was, then that's something to potentially tag along to as well. Again, folks, how we're using the site::gov is it's helping us get a broader vision of our very narrow keyword concept. When SEOs think about flip-flops, they think about selling flip-flops, and we should. Really, that's our job. But as link builders, we have to think about how can we create content that's relevant to flip-flops and related to flip-flops, but that isn't a sales page for flip-flops. You can build links to sales pages, do your product reviews, do your giveaways, but you're not going to get the great authority links unless you're buying them. You're not going to get great natural authority links to your website unless you are developing content around a specific topic area or multiple topic areas, this combination, and then pitching it into these links pages, links and resource pages. So okay, let's do some more. We're on a roll. We're 2 down, 35 more to go. So I'll have to call a time on this eventually. I'll do a few more here. We've got live music and entertainment for weddings and corporate events. Now, if I recall, this is Rich. Now, if I recall correctly, Rich is in the UK, so we're going to switch this up a little bit. I'm looking at, I don't even know what this is. I'm guessing it's maybe Celtic or Irish, maybe. But we're going to just see what happens. We're going to paste that in. Here we had flip-flops, and then we're going to do, is it .gov.uk or .uk.gov? .uk.gov. It's .gov.uk. All my poor folks in the UK following along. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way. Thank you for sticking around and not heading out to the pubs yet. Ah, yes. Oh, lovely. Here we go. I still don't know what, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Well, I will. Cielid, bands. And so what I'm seeing is a lot of culture-related things. I'm seeing community. Okay. So how I would approach, my thought would be, is let's create community-focused content around this keyword, and let's figure out how to celebrate this aspect of culture within or on the website. Make a collection of resources for practicing or studying this music, or where to find. I know in the States we have bluegrass. And so there's bluegrass jam bands that happen. So there'll be a little pickup band, and they'll just everybody brings their banjos and guitars, and they hang out and just play music. Maybe helping people find those types of events happening could be a potential way forward. So I didn't expect to find anything, but lo and behold, there's a very interesting direction here. Now, I'm not going to be adept at taking a leap into prospecting, or the topical phrases, but maybe culture. So we could try. Let's see, how do we do this? So we have to put a site .co.uk. Not hair loss. Let's just do culture and see what comes back. This does cut us off from the govs. .gov.uk. So, I don't know that we could pitch our maybe dancing, or maybe just music. Probably music would be a potential direction forward. Well, do we get Tolkien music? No, I think we look at, and this would be where I would not be able to make that leap, where you're going to have to use your subject matter expertise and say what type of music this is. Maybe traditional music. So again, folks, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to find our topical keyword. Yeah, there we go. Traditional music. And perhaps there's a region where this music originates from. So you could look at that region history and start to find some opportunities there. So there's a lot of, I think that's a lot of good ways forward just with this single keyword, right? Now, again, you want to do that same, like, I don't even know, opera singers, you want to do that for here as well. This is lovely. Pajama-clad opera singers don red noses for dispossessed a dispossessed fund. That's interesting. I don't quite know how to spin that one. Um, uh, this one is tough. Um, Homepage of Learn Listening Online. Outline discusses the development of opera in England. Okay, that is very interesting. We're getting into history. The history of opera in England. That could be pretty useful. That could be pretty linkable. That could be a solid topic. So I again I would submit that you investigate that direction. Carols to inspire festive cheer. Well, that's pretty lovely. I think there might be some ways forward there. Again, I'm American culture, not UK culture, but if festive cheer is something that is, if there's a phrase for that people write about or make links pages about, or that might be more of a PR or blogger approach actually, but there could be some ideas there as they intersect with opera again. So we're finding things like history, history of opera. We're finding things like festivities, festive times of year, festive cheer, as that intersects with music, and we're looking at traditional music. So a lot of, and again, we're jumping away from trying to rank for stuff like hire an opera singer or a wedding band for my wedding. Obviously we'd like to rank for those things, but we're not going to be able to develop necessarily linkable content topics that are just related to that target keyword. We're talking about whole new pages here. Traffic safety store, Mr. Nick. See what we've got here. Construction signs, safety vests, safety glasses. I mean, this is going to be almost fish in a barrel. This is an example where I feel like, well, maybe construction safety or traffic safety is. I know going into, I think I'm pretty sure he's a .com. So we're going to look in the U.S. Pretty sure construction signs site:/.gov. Yeah, look at that, 25 million results. Construction sign requirements. I love it. Okay, so and it's in New York State. So I'm jumping to topics, but a state-by-state guide to construction sign requirements. There's a lot of regulation around construction signs that looks state by state, and then there's some federal stuff too. Here's OSHA. Again, construction signs, Washington. This is a Kent, WA.gov. I'm guessing is Kent, Washington. So this is either a county or a city that has very specific construction sign related stuff. So there's definitely, on construction signs, there's a very, very strong intersection with laws, rules, regulations. Okay, and there's a massive guide waiting for you there. So then to get to topical keywords is probably construction sign requirements, construction site signs, work zone signs, work zone signals, highway work zones. There might be different, and you might have to break it down by highways versus in city. But when this, folks, what I want you to see here is you're using the SERP to kind of blast open this keyword and to find new possible directions for it. Okay, and there's a lot of what I'm doing that because I can sort of see these things, and I'm working as hard as I can to figure out how to help people extract them themselves. But anyhow, you could take something like construction signs and throw that into an NURL links.html. So let's see. Well, let's just do work zone signs and NURL links. We're going to take this site.co.uk off. See what we get. Nothing. I want to take that off, the quotes off of it. So what I'm doing now is trying to dial in work zone signs to see if this is something. Okay, it looks like it wants it to be 2 words. Let's change that. Put the quotes back around it. Um, no, there's nothing. So work zone signs, it doesn't look super productive as far as what is commonly used on links pages. So also what I'll do to drill down if I'm pretty sure something's linkable is I'll say, all right, where am I getting with the link in URL links.html, where am I getting a large number of results, and then how do I dig down from there into topics, linkable topics. So this one might be useful. Indiana Motor Truck Association. So, but interestingly now, we could look at maybe a trucker's guide to work zone safety, or work zone signs, that sort of thing. Potentially, they should be taught all that stuff, hopefully in school. But I'm also seeing, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. So we started on construction signs, and now I'm seeing National Highway Traffic Safety as a potential direction. EPA, goodness gracious, what are they doing there? That's probably not super relevant, but so anyhow, even if you hit a no results, right? Like we put quotes around this, and we had 0 results. If you're like I have just built up a gut over time. I'm like, there's got to be something work zone related out there. So let's take those quotes off and sort of see what comes back. You can and should be doing that. Now let's just put it up around. Let's just do work zone and see what comes back. I wonder if work zone safety is one. So 176. Yeah, look at that. Center for Work Zone Safety. 46. Okay. Yeah, work zone safety. I'm excited. This feels like so now we've gone from construction signs to work zone safety as a potential topic. So then how do we, help people interpret and present, how do you use signs to be as safe as possible on a construction site? That would be kind of our general topic. We would want to look for more intersections, probably topically. So, a state by state, the geography or the geographical laws or the laws associated with specific territories can be a nice intersection with something like work zone safety. So like work zone safety signage laws in North Carolina. And then you look at just general work zone safety prospecting. I would also say, with work zone safety in quotes, another thing you could do to develop more directions would just be, what are we seeing down in the recommended results here, or the related searches? We didn't cover this in our article because this is more advanced, where you're getting a little far down the rabbit hole, and there is that danger, and I usually succumb to it. But there's always, if you dig deep enough, there's always a linkable topic there somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to check quick to see if we have any. Okay, so this one was interesting. This was from Phil. I remember Phil was in Australia. So let's do a quick search. And I think it's .au.gov or .gov.au probably. Oops. Oh no. Let's see. So we're going to do photo booth. So his site sells photo booths. It's like .gov.au. Photo booths, like the whole thing, right? So they want to help people start photo booth businesses. I think it's lovely. And so we're looking for intersections of a photo booth and the government, right? So how does the government relate to photo booths in general? I like what I'm seeing here. They have a green screen photo booth discussed here to uh, to sort of celebrate history. And what I'm seeing in this SERP, anyways, is an iconic Western Australian location. So geography, history, and geography. And my gut is as history and geography intersect with tourism, right? So when we talk about a photo booth business, well, we are talking about a photo booth business, but we're almost really more talking about a tourism business, right? Because who's getting in the photo booths? That I don't know. I mean, I don't have Phil on the phone with me, on the conversation with me, so I don't know exactly if that's kind of a target market. But what I do know is that history, geography, and tourism are all very, very linkable topics. Now, we would probably need, we need a better intersect with photo booths and business. So possibly starting a tourism business, guides to starting a tourism business in Australia, or it could be a linkable title, content title. I still wanted to have another intersect or two. But certainly content that maybe a photo booth map, right? That would be kind of interesting. Where are all the photo booths in Australia? I would love to know that as a consumer. I think that would be interesting. It would be interesting to have someone take a cross-country tour and get their photo taken in all the photo booths, or go to one city and do a sprint through all the photo booths that are there. And I would also ask, are there photo booth locators that exist, and is there a potential to create that for your website? Because that would be fairly interesting, I think, and fairly linkable. And could be, if you develop that out, I'm not saying it would be easy. I don't mean to make it sound easy. It would not be, because where is that data? Does it exist? But you could probably make an approximation of it and find as many as you are able to find just by searching, and possibly build out an app or something, or build out at least a website that helps people locate the nearest photo booth to them. That further serves your business. So if you sell photo booths, then wouldn't it be great if you also provided people with a potential stream of photo booth users? Maybe all this exists already. I have the luxury of being in an absolute vacuum right now, where it's really easy to come up with ideas with no budget limitations and no technological limitations. But that said, those are some potential directions that I can think of that relate to photo booths. Oh, interesting. Photo booth operator is that's a job. I always thought of them as very coin op, or just input your money in, or swipe your card. Photo booth operator job. Help people get jobs as photo booth operators, like a job board for photo booth operators could be interesting. So a few ideas there. Not sure how. I think for something so specific as photo booth, and that's just what you sell, I would definitely look at intersecting really strongly with photo booth, as well, intersecting as much as possible with photo booths. And it looks like you won't have to shift off topic too much. You'll just have to think of creative ways to discuss and share photo booths on your website. But also you could go in the history and tourism direction, and if you really understand what is motivating someone to get their photo taken at a photo booth, if you know what's driving people to do that, then you can look. Then if it's drunken revelry, right? So then you're going to want to do like the. I mean, you could create I mean, they have bar crawls, they call them here in the States, where they literally, local people make a map of bars, and you try to go to as many bars as you can. That's why they call it a crawl, because you're definitely crawling by the end. But if you had a kind of a photo booth crawl that was tied in with local bars, or there's a way to kind of tie it into different reasons why people are getting their photos taken. Now, again, folks, this isn't what I'm discussing now for the photo booth is less linkable topic and more kind of marketing in general, just general pairing up with what people are already doing. And that bar crawl, like the Sydney photo booth bar crawl, like get your picture taken at every photo booth along this route where you're walking along. That's not necessarily linkable to links pages, except for possibly Sydney tourism links pages or things to do in Sydney. So that's much more of a blog / social media type of a campaign than it is a linkable topic campaign. But it came about because we were investigating photo booths as they intersect with site.gov.au. Okay. We've got from the UK, we've got Stephen. So the Green Deal is something new. I did a bit of research about it and didn't completely understand it, but I have a feeling that the Green Deal in itself is, well, it's related to a few things, but basically the government will loan you money to make green improvements to your house. So I think, Green Deal is a great place to start, and there might be Green Deal links pages. We should just check that. This is one where there may be some pre-existing intersect with links pages. Green Deal in URL. Let's just do links and then site:/.co.uk. We probably don't need to do .co.uk. So we are seeing some like insulation companies, Green Deal. So there's a lot of, so there might be a lot of competitors here. I don't know. Green Deal Assessment Service, so probably there's a lot of competitors here. But let's see what links.html. You can start to see what how people have on their links pages. There's a lot of links pages here, honestly, but you can start to see what types of topics they've done. So this is a little different from how I initially told you to approach, topic ideation. But in an area where you're already starting with a linkable topic, you can start to look for, what people are doing already, what kind of content already exists, and on links pages, right? And it looks like a lot of energy solutions, insulation services, green related. So there's a few different ways from a prospecting perspective that you could go, but certainly the green, eco-friendly is a huge one. Green Deal, I would spend some time just with Green Deal and just visiting some of these links pages and seeing what they're linking out to. I think you're pretty close. Once you're on Green Deal, you're pretty close to being ready to come up with titles. So I would definitely spend some time there. Green Deal, I'm pretty. I think it's pretty close to being your topical keyword. Possibly some, home improvement, and I don't know what the phrase typically is in the UK for home improvement, because I saw some other of our participants from the UK. It wasn't home remodeling. Let me just see if home improvement is. I think that's another phrase that's commonly used. Oh, that's not too bad. So home improvement, how to save on green home improvements. Maybe a guide to that could be something, possibly. But let's hit a few more. I do need to wrap here in. Probably should have wrapped 10 or 15 minutes ago. So thank you if you're still on the call. Love having you here. It's another eco kind of light bulbs and LED sort of approach, but definitely I think taking light bulbs, site:/.gov would be effective. This one here from Amy, affirmative action plan. Affirmative action is a topic. Like it is going to be a very linkable topic. We can run it through sitecolon.gov. So we'll do, and I mean, it is a government rule. I mean, it's a federal rule, I believe. Um, so there's going to be a lot of different ways to approach this. This is I think, if I recall the keywords correctly here, planning compliance. So this is a B2B sort of thing for compliance and audits. Um, so, obviously this is for employers and B2B, but I wonder if there's kind of something for consumers that's how to make sure when you need to exercise your affirmative action rights. So they may not feel comfortable putting that type of content on the site, right? So if their website is for businesses who are trying to protect themselves from affirmative action lawsuits, they may not want to have content that is for consumers who are trying to start affirmative action lawsuits against their employers. So there may be some some pretty bad brand dissonance there. But I would explore workers' rights, or maybe business owners' rights. But there's going to be a lot more linkers around, kind of affirmative action related resources for people who have been who feel like they have a lawsuit on the potential for a lawsuit. So let's just throw that in there. I think wrong. Interestingly, EDU is showing up. Of course, a law firm. That's another university. I would start to spend some time. I would pick this apart. So we've got 3,300 results here. I would start again digging down into discovering sort of the subtopics within affirmative action. So I'm going to do sitecolon.edu and just look at the affirmative action pages that are EDU related. And again, folks, this is just links.html here, and URL links.html. So we know that there's a ton of EDU websites that are linking out to affirmative action content. So we want to understand when and why are colleges linking out to affirmative action websites, and why are they creating this sort of thing? So that's going to give us some hint on topics. Let's see. Did we wrap? Megan, are we still recording? Just can you confirm?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Okay, I just heard a little ding. Sorry, guys. Let's see. So affirmative action we looked at. I'm going to do one more because I'm getting hungry, and when I get hungry, I don't think nimbly. We have scholarship management software, grant management software. This one I'd need to know more about. I think it'd be better to start with the target institutions who are giving scholarships and giving grants and that sort of thing. I think that'd be a more effective way forward. I don't have the brain left right now for parsing through that. Family clinic is going to be a lot easier. Congratulations, Jake. You caught this is. I gotta get through. I'll try to get to Joe. Also, Jake, Joe, you're gonna be our last one. Joe's a buddy, so he gets the buddy pass. Jake, we're gonna look at family clinic, medical clinic, health clinic, family doctor, family physician. Again, let's take it back to site.gov. We're gonna do family clinic here and see what types of topics we're seeing. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Errant / there. Oh, the military family clinic. Community health services, Venice Family Clinic. If I recall correctly, they focus on a single city or single state for their project. But here's something. you know, find a clinic outside of the state. Now, wait, why do we want to create something that helps people find either family planning or whatever? Um, oh my, sorry, just got completely distracted. That's what happens if I get hungry. Family clinic optimizing care for HIV infected children. Okay, that's amazing. So a collection of HIV of clinics, family clinics in the U.S. that specialize in care for HIV infected children, like that list in itself. So I've gone way. So the topics are HIV, children's health, and service, health services, I suppose. Um, but the content then is a list or a searchable, a locator sort of thing, like we talked about with the photo booths. That could be highly, highly linkable. But I was thinking about, finding for general family clinics, and this looks like a family planning clinic, but in North Dakota. But and you could narrow it down that way too. But a state by state clinic, family clinic discovery tool, locator tool, could be very effective. I could see that as a good way forward. Wow, rural health clinics. This is interesting. That's in Idaho. I'd be interested about rural health clinic lists and discover. That collection of these clinics, especially when you kind of narrow them down topically, starts to get very very linkable, right? So there's going to be some county specific resources, probably city specific resources in these rural areas, resource pages and links pages that you could be reaching out to for links. Not that many, but there'd be some, and they'd be highly likely to link because you have a topic that's you're geographically relevant to them, and you have a health related topic. But yeah, I think that's a solid one. It could be a solid way forward. And again, I just searched family clinic and then scrolled down through the SERPs. I mean, it's really that I wouldn't say simple, but that's all I do. And I'm looking for topics that sort of leap out that I think are going to be linkable. And then we talked about methods for testing, and then kind of parsing out a topic too. If you think you're sure it should be linkable. We talked about the links.html, in-URL links.html query with taking the quotes off of your topical phrases as a method for digging in deeper. But last one, Mr. Joe, we're going to look at. Wait, that wasn't Joe's. Where is Joe? I swear there was a different one. He had something. Did I delete it by accident? Let me Control Z here. Oops. I remember Joe was trash collecting. Oh, here he is. I was thinking of a different Joe. I'm sorry, this Joe up here, Mr. Expert, the expert witness guy. I apologize. I was thinking of another Joe who's down here. Okay, we've got dumpster rental Newport, junk removal, roofing dumpster. So number one, we've got to remove all the city-specific stuff. So we're going to go right into dumpster rental. I'm going to take out the quotes for now. We should have done that for family clinic too, just to see what comes back. Dumpster rental. So this mostly looks like ways for people to rent from the city, container services, dumpster programs. This is interesting. Neighborhood cleanup programs. So purposes for dumpsters that are going to have some linkability. Neighborhood cleanup. That could be a huge, I think, a huge topic direction. It has a mission to it, and it's something that you could create a lot of. There can and should be calendars for city by city, neighborhood cleanups, and then there could be a portion where you would work with the organizers of these cleanups and try to help them make sure they get their dumpsters rented, or that they know how to try and get them for free. That the city may provide that to them. They probably already know this, but you can create content around it for folks and kind of how to run a neighborhood cleanup program. So I went down to result number 10 before that sort of popped off, but I'm seeing mostly some competitors essentially. If you're trying to do dumpster rental, but honestly, if Florida is a city where a state where they don't, where where the states and cities don't actually provide dumpster rental services, you could get away with a state-by-state guide to dumpster renting from the government, or from how to get a dumpster in city X and city Y and city Z, and maybe provide some guidelines, and that might be linkable on a city-by-city basis, and then also as a kind of an overall guide, as a link to the homepage. Folks, I've got to wrap. And I know we always go long with these, and if you've made it to the end, you're incredible. And also, I hope we can get to everybody's keywords one day. We got through about, I think, probably 8 or 9 out of 30 today. But I hope that you have some of the basics down as far as what we're talking about when we talk about getting fuzzy with your SEO keywords. What we talk about when we say your SEO content or even your content marketing content may not actually be linkable content, because it's not going to be intersecting unless it's intersecting with with a linkable topic area. And I hope you sort of got some hints. And this is the area that is truly still fuzzy for us. But how do you spot a topic on the SERPs page itself? And I still, I don't think we have any rules around that. But we do have tests for them, right? So I've been doing this so long, stuff just sort of pops off to me. But if you really genuinely don't know if something's linkable or not, you can just take that phrase and throw it in quotes with that links in URL links.html, and it will return results and show you whether there are links pages for that. Now, if you're pretty sure, a few times today, I pointed to we found some stuff that I had to take the quotes off when we did that links.html qualifier. That's because I was sure that I have that sense that there's going to be something linkable here. There's going to be links pages that mention this this topic on them, and so I kept digging and I kept trying to refine my topic query. But anybody who is using the link prospector or the broken link builder, this is how you find those phrases that are going to be the most productive for you. And you definitely have to take that shift. You have to shift away from just doing your SEO keywords. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions, please send them to Megan@citationlabs.com, and we're happy to take people's questions. This has been a lot of fun for me. This is an area that doesn't get discussed very often in link building and SEO, but this is really the only way forward for resource and links page topic discovery and kind of content title ideation, which again we'll get into in our next webinar. Folks, that's wrapping us for today. Megan, thank you, and will you please go ahead and sign us off?